friends talking about a similar topic and we're recording now. So I'll just save that for later. Hey, everybody. If do we have anybody new here? Hi, I'm Joy. I'm the Social Studies Program Manager, and we have Mallory here. We have lots of people here. Well, let's start off with introductions, and I did mine. So team, and then we will go down the list.
Hey,
in the order we were hired. Come on, y'all, we got this.
I stepped in. I'm Jennifer Zumberis. I'm the Social Studies and Special Education Content Integration Specialist.
I'm Nancy Ballon. I am the Social Studies ESOL Program Specialist.
I guess I'm really boring because I'm Ashley Melville and I'm just the Social Studies Program Specialist. I don't have a special ed or ESOL tag on me. So
I don't think boring could ever be used to describe you.
No, that's not on the list of descriptors.
I don't think any of us fit that description.
No.
So I think we have a slide for introductions, don't we? After the agenda.
Oh, we do have like a welcome. Yes.
Oh.
Sorry, I just now saw that picture.
So why don't we go down? I'm going to call you out. How about that? Why don't we go down, introduce yourself, what RESA you're at, and one thing that no one knows about you that makes you super special, interesting, or exciting. Okay, go Ben.
That's a lot of pressure. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
You can
Ben.
make something up. Nobody cares.
We already introduced, so we don't have to worry about it.
Wow, that's a tough one. You're making me go first, huh? Can y'all hear me, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Hey everybody, I am Ben Smalley. I am the Social Studies Coordinator for the Clark County School District and also working with the Northeast Georgia RESA. Something interesting about me. Ooh.
Just make it up. Just something you want to be interesting about.
I actually got to meet Robert De Niro one time. That was pretty cool. That's kind of interesting. You probably didn't know that. So
Cool.
There we go.
I like it. Connie.
Hi, I'm Connie Howell, Heart of Georgia RESA. My first degree was in health and PE, and I am a basketball nut.
Ooh. Nice.
Lewis is with her, and I once was hired to clean a famous person's grave.
Who? Can you say who? Because you can't just leave it there.
Martha Berry.
Ooh. All right, Laura.
Did you say Martha Berry?
She did.
Yes.
My alma mater.
I don't know if Laura heard you.
Laura? Oh, okay. Laura, are you with us?
For summoning spirits or something.
Everyone hold hands. Laura Hooven. Leanne, you with us?
I am, as much as I can be. I'm Leanne Cheatham. I'm with West Georgia RESA. I am the social studies liaison. I also am working with ELA and literacy and also Science Bridge. So, and gifted. So lots of happenings at West Georgia RESA. And something interesting about me. Gosh, the most fabulous thing about me is I have a little grandbaby and he is 13 months old. So does that count?
That can count.
I won't whip out all the pictures, but I could.
I muted myself. Sorry. Laura, are you back with us? All right, Mallory, do we have you?
Yes, you do. Hello, my name is Mallory Rivera. I am with First District RESA. This is my first day on the job. I do not know what I'm doing. So just, yeah, I know, right? I'm technically an ELA school improvement specialist, but I'm the point of contact for social studies. So that's why I'm here with you guys. And my special thing is, I guess I'm 13 weeks pregnant. So if I fall off the deep end in January, it's because I've had a baby, and I apologize.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have to name it a social studies name.
Oh,
But
you have to talk to
every
my
name is
husband
a
about that
social
one.
studies name. Every name is a social studies name. See, there you go. So you win. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Are you with us?
Absolutely. Hello from the coast. It is beautifully hot down here. I am Robin Smith, the Professional Learning Director at Middle Georgia RESA. Something interesting about me is I just programmed the garage door to open with an app.
Nice. And now we will all call you with our technical needs.
You're going to love that.
Anytime.
Nice, nice, nice. Oh, and Robin, did you say Eureka?
Middle Georgia RESA.
Okay. Sandy.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes.
I'm Sandy Bales from Pioneer RESA, and I'm working with social studies and science liaisons this year. And I'm not real sure what else. We have a new director, so I don't really know yet until next week what other things I might be doing. And an interesting thing about me is I ran my first marathon a year ago, March, at 65 years old.
Snaps to you. I'll watch you from afar. Good job.
Nice to see everybody.
Stephanie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Butler from Coastal Plains RESA, and I am the social studies cheerleader there, but I am also in a new position this year. I'm starting as the growing reader specialist there, so I'm super excited to learn more about that this year, too. And interesting fact about me, that's a struggle, but I do eat a banana every day.
Just because you love bananas?
Yes. So
nice. I did grow up on a banana sandwich, so I probably would if I could. Yeah. All right. Who did we miss? Did we miss anyone?
Yes. Hello, everyone. I was late joining. I was having technical difficulties. But I am Mandy Butler. I'm with Chattahoochee Flint RESA and am excited to be continuing this work. I also am a literacy specialist and do a great deal with literacy at Chat Flint RESA, but I do enjoy being a cheerleader for my champions. So a very, very interesting thing about me is that after many, many years, I started back to school on July 10th. And so I had decided a while ago that I was too old to go back to school, but here I am. So I may go off the deep end in January as well, but it won't be from having a baby.
Well, you're going to birth that class. That'll be your baby. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else we missed? Okie dokie. I think we skipped the agenda though, Nancy. We could. The penguins say no agenda for you. So we're just going to go over the stuff you see on the agenda there. We're going to talk about last year. We're going to talk a little bit about needs assessment, resources, some logistics for this upcoming year, leave some room for any questions. This will not be the last time we meet. It's just like a let's kick it off and get it started. And now I'll just turn it over to the amazing, awesome, and wonderful team that I have.
Okay, so I know we have new people joining us, and what's the word? I know old is not the right word. Returning members, returning
veterans,
veteran cheerleaders joining us. And so I just want to start it off by celebrating the work that you guys did last year and getting you excited about what's to come. And for the newer people, to show what great stuff happened last year. So if you can remember back like 3 months ago, I don't know, not even that far, we had asked your champions to kind of reflect on how the program, the Cheerleaders and Champions Initiative, had affected them and their social studies educators in their district over the first year. And we got some really great feedback from that. So I wanted you to just bask in the glory that is your impact. So Nancy, if you want to go to next slide, kind of generally speaking, we had 99% of participants said that the Cheerleaders and Champions Initiative affected their professional knowledge and growth. So everyone felt impacted. A majority of them felt impacted to a great extent. So that was for the champions. And then they also reflected on their impact that they had on the educators in their district. And 88% of them said they had some sort of impact, whether a great extent or somewhat, on their teachers. So, you know, a big shout out to the first year of flying the plane, that's not the term, building the plane as you fly it, right? We got some great feedback. I wanted you to see also just some quotes that we pulled, some qualitative pieces. So Nancy, if you'll look at the next piece, there were just too many great things we're able to narrow it down. I just wanted you to take a second to look at some of these quotes. We've got this slide and the next. I'm going to be quiet and let you kind of read these quotes, and then we'll reflect on them in a second. So maybe take a minute to read what they said from last year. And we'll look at one more slide, Nancy. And it's okay if you didn't read it all, but I think you'll get the gist. So kind of some awesome quotes there from our champions last year. And Nancy, if we look at the next slide, as you were reading what these champions said from last year, our first year, was there anything that kind of stood out to you from the feedback that you thought kind of was worth celebrating, or that was just kind of stuck with you a little bit? And feel free to write in the chat or unmute yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. And I'm good with wait time, but if you need me to go back.
One of the ones I loved was the one that was in orange that was talking about being able to reach smaller systems that don't have a social studies coordinator. That's one of the things that always breaks our hearts when we go out and we hear that teachers aren't getting resources, or we're not even able to make it to a certain part of the state because we haven't been asked to come. That warmed our hearts. That was part of our goal, was to be able to reach those who had formerly kind of been unreachable. So that was exciting.
I think that's echoes what Ben says in the comments too, in the chat.
At Heart of Georgia, we saw our group grow in their leadership skills, because when we first started meeting and we asked them to share what they had been doing and to share one resource that they had found useful in their classrooms, they were very hesitant to, and by the end of our meeting times, we had to put timers on them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's one of the overwhelming trends, just the professional growth, the connections that were made. So we're hoping we will continue that on this year and keep building on that now that we've got that foundation laid for many of you. And those of you that are just starting, there's great things to come. Okay. So we just want to start by celebrating and then kind of digging into some of the deeper assessment pieces too. So Nancy, I think we can go to the next slide.
I want to acknowledge that what Mandy put in there, that one of the districts reported an improvement in GMAS. That's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we also, so that was kind of a smaller feedback form that we had done with Champions last year at the end of the year. But we had the larger needs assessment survey, and I know Joy had been the one kind of sending that out and sending out the results for that. So we wanted to check to make sure that that you guys got your results via email, and we also kind of wanted to dig into that a little bit more. So Joy, I don't know if there's anything else you want to say about the survey before we kind of take a look at it. Thanks a lot, Joy.
You're welcome.
So I know there were some bigger pieces that were sent out. We had kind of the overall data for Georgia, but we wanted you guys to make sure you had a chance to dig in to your specific RESA survey results. So do you remember, Joy, when those went out email wise?
More than a week ago. Yes. I sent them out individually to each RESA leader. What it included was the statewide results and then your specific results. So on or around like the, I don't know, the second week in July. So it's a little redacted just because, I don't know, people get protective about their own individual data. So
July 6th.
Yeah, sounds 5th or 6th, somewhere around there. So you could be able to compare your RESA results to that of the state. And we did not distribute the individual district results because in almost all cases, there weren't really enough surveys completed to have reliable data for one district. So that's why I didn't send out district stuff. But I think there's enough information there for you to tailor professional learning and resource support.
So what do we wanted to do? I'm not sure how much time you guys had to really dig into that data, but we thought that that would be a great place to start and help you think about the upcoming school year. So if you want to dig into your email, and I know, Joy, for the people who are new, would the just sending them the Georgia general results be helpful for that? Let's see, and I'll try to pull up the email from Connie. What was the name of the email? July 6th, not Connie, sorry, Leanne. Let's see.
What did you say again? I'm sorry, Ashley, I was looking at the data.
That's okay, yeah. So Joy sent out the email. And do you remember around July 6th, do you remember the name of it? So as we look, Social Studies Needs Assessment Results by RISA. Thank you, Stephanie. Awesome.
It's Social Studies Needs Assessment Results by RISA, sent July 6th.
Awesome. So hopefully everyone was able to retrieve that from their inbox. And what we'd like you to do is to take a second and, you know, if you've already looked over it, great. We'll take a second to refresh your memory. If this is your first time digging into it, also great. This is the opportunity to use it to help us kick off the new year. So we were thinking you could we'd give you 5 to 10 minutes to dig in a little bit and take a look at the survey. It's humongous, I know. So it's not necessarily that you have to look at everything all right now, but take a look at one graph, or maybe pick a section or a topic, or maybe there's a couple slides together. Whatever you feel like you can reasonably look at right now, and start noticing. What do you see? What do you notice that data is telling you? And Nancy, if you'll go to the next, or just advance. Then thinking about what graph or section you're looking at. Why does that matter? So what? Let's make sense of what you're looking at. What are the implications of this data? Why does it matter to you in your RISA, in your position, to your teachers? And then the now what? So thinking about what might be some possible next steps or courses of action based off of the data that you noticed, the implications that you've kind of unearthed. So a little protocol here to help you dig into the data. It could also be something that you replicate with your champions as well, this protocol, if you wanted to pick certain slides or graphs to share with them that are RISA specific. But take a second, pull up your data, make some notes to yourself, kind of following the protocol, and then we'll share out, okay? No pressure, but just kind of want to get some ideas on what you guys are noticing, what your implications of those noticings are, and some next steps you think you might want to take or need to research or whatever, okay? All right, so questions before I stop talking. Right. Well, if you have individual questions, feel free to put it in the chat or on mic. I'm going to set the timer for a few minutes. Let you dig in. Let's take about 1 more minute to hone in on a graph or chart or whatnot. Think about the what, so what, now what, and we'll open it up and talk about some of the things you're seeing. Alrighty, well, hopefully you found your survey. And if that's all you did, good job. You found your survey. Now you know where it is. Number 2, hopefully you were able to make sense of something and think about what it might mean for you and your RESA. Maybe it's just, hey, man, there's some good stuff in here. I think I need more time to dig into this. But anyone want to give us some reflection piece so far on either what they saw, what the so what is, or next steps?
I will. When I was looking at our RESA under the professional development needs to address the different instructional strategies slides, I noticed that our top 4 are questioning strategies, tech sources. One was the use of computer-based social studies applications, and then simulations. So from that, I thought that would be my target, and I have been working with scheduling a PD to meet some of those needs with the GCSS stock market game.
Awesome. GCEE. Yes, GCEE. I'll put that in the chat for those. That's the Georgia County.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Wants to put Nancy or somebody, whoever, a link to the Georgia Council for Economic Education. Awesome. So thanks for sharing about how that data has helped you to see what your teachers need and then get hooked up with some of our statewide partners. Awesome. Anyone else want to share?
I can jump off of that as well. I was actually, for First District RESA, I was looking actually at the exact same slide. And the first thing I noticed was we only had like 13 surveys completed, if that, or something like that. And I think that has to do with, if I understand correctly, First District did not have a social studies liaison last year. So
that's correct.
The data that I'm seeing here is almost, the top 4 are pretty much the exact same ones that were just mentioned. It's all about simulations. It's about computer-based social studies applications, text sources, non-text sources. It's looking to me like there's a need for almost like manipulatives or interactivity for the students. And I figured, just looking at my data that, oh, well, it's probably because First District didn't have anybody, as a liaison. But hearing that it's 2 RESAs, maybe this is more of an overarching issue that we can come together and kind of focus on or work on together to make sure that it's, being handled. Because they seem to have it with like effective homework strategies and direct instruction and stuff like that. So,
or at least they think they do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It looks like they're asking for the fun stuff, if you know what I mean. So, yeah. But yeah, that's what I saw.
Thanks so much, Mallory, for sharing. So hopefully we've kind of sparked some interest back here in the needs assessment. Don't forget about it. I know it's sent over the summer. Pull that back up, dig into it. You can do this protocol. You could also, if one of your meetings with your champions, try to dig a little bit deeper and see if they think they know what's going on. So hopefully it's kind of model for you a way to look at data and helps you kind of jump off the school year.
Not the bridge. Don't jump off the bridge. But I want to acknowledge something that you said, Mallory, that I kind of wanted to bring back up. I know that a lot of us are creating atmospheres and opportunities for collaboration and community with our district level champions. But we would really like to encourage you to continue growing that kind of collegiality with the district leaders, the RISA leaders, rather. You guys coming together. Like, we're happy to do professional learning. And if we can do, 2 RISAs at once, or, one RISA kind of on one day and the next on the next, because you have common topics. I mean, those kind of things we are happy to work with you on, or connecting you with statewide partners when you see a need that goes that is just specific to your district or goes beyond your district. So there's been a lot of sharing the first year between RISA leaders. And I want to acknowledge that you guys did a great job, and let's continue with that.
Ben also had a great comment in the chat. He said, it seems like his crew wants to practice and promote inquiry-based instruction, but they may not be equipped to do it.
So I think we'll see those kind of trends continue. And as you guys keep digging into that data and coming back to it, like Joyce said, feel free to reach out to us. We've also got these helpful resources that maybe can help plug some of those needs. Jennifer?
Woohoo! Last year, when we were kind of throwing all of these surveys and links and everything at people, Miss Connie said, help, can you put all this in one place? There's so many things coming at the same time. So we created these documents for each individual RISA that you see there on the right. And we've gone through, we've looked at what was already there. We've added some new things. So we're in the process of going through all of that. If you could pretty please help me, if you did this with us last year and you have this document, or you have your links, could you please test those 2 links? You see them kind of down towards the bottom, the ones with the red writing. Could you please check those and see if those links are still active or still working for you? We've had some changes in our Microsoft suite, and we're not sure you still have access to them. So we want to make sure that you can still get to those. So that's new. We'll put those there. We're adding to that several playlists. We have our CheerLEADER playlist, which is just for you guys. And then we have our cheerleader and champion playlist that will be for your liaisons that you're working with. So those are there. You also see there's a social studies Georgia leadership playlist. There's lots of great stuff on there that you might not know that you need to know, deconstructing the standard, information about the WIDA standards, how to navigate Inspire, the course descriptors, all of those are there. So that's a great playlist for you to check out if you're not familiar with that. You also see kind of down in the middle, the tiny video playlist. There's the platform that we used to use that we're no longer able to use. So we've converted all of those videos to that tiny video playlist. There's over 130 videos, short 1 to 3 minute videos on best practice and updates, resources for your classroom. So that's a great resource to share with your liaisons, but also just for you as well as you're planning. So those are there. I was trying to see if there was anything else that was new. I think that's it, but we'll continue to add to that. Over on the left bottom of your screen, you see that screenshot of community. I think most of you are there in our group and community. Our new people, if you're not, we would love to get you connected and get you in there, but you'll see kind of where that orange arrow is. There's a box highlighted that says documents. everything that we've ever shared with you all and everything that we will share in the future, all the documents go there into that little tab there. And then it's broken down into other things as well to help you find things. The document, like you see there on the right, we're going to email you your own, but then we'll also house it there in that document folder so you can get to it in case you're like me and put things in a really safe place and then can't find your safe place. They'll all be housed there in community for you.
I suppose I should take myself off mute. That'll work better. So we have a new tool that has actually already been released that's a part of Georgia Inspire. I think a lot of you are already using Inspire now. If you have not shared this with your with all of the folks, anybody basically who accesses our curriculum, this is the place to send them, inspire.godot.org. And we do, in our tiny video playlist, we do have a video tour. It looks a little different because they've made some updates and some changes to it, but the basic gist of how to get around is still the same. If you just look for on our video playlist, or for the tiny videos, if you just look for the Inspire tour, or I can send you the link or whatever. And pretty soon we're going to have a velocity tour coming out. That's what I'm about to show you today, because that has actually already gone live. And so, as you see, this is all changed. If you go under the courses, now it's broken into elementary, middle, high, and then our cross grade band stuff is here, and the support bubble that your teachers have really been loving hearing about. They love all these resources and the statewide organization links. All of that is in here. It just looks a little different now because it's under this cross grade bands. So velocity is I don't even know how to explain it. It's really a student, it's a place where teachers can design activities for students. It's like a lot of different tools all combined. It's easier just to show you what it is than to try to explain it. Let's go to, I think I got the most in 5th grade. So we definitely have at least one activity. I think we have at least one activity K through 8, but it may not be under a particular unit. So the place that you want to go to find all of the activities for a grade are the course resources. And here you can see all of the activities are all in one place for the entire year or the entire course, depending on, what it is. If we go back to the curriculum map, then they are under each individual unit. So for Unit 2, we've got the Unit 2 vocabulary and Unit 2 flashcards, and then for Unit 3, so on and so forth. But if you want to see everything for the entire course that we've made already, you go to the course resources. So let's take a look at what these things are. As the ESOL teacher, one of the biggest hurdles for ESOL kids is vocabulary. And so we really wanted to try to get some flashcards out there just to show, hang on, let me sign in. So, and I should mention that. So you can get to the activities if you don't sign in, and we were telling everybody, you can get into Inspire and everything without signing in. To actually create their own velocity activities, they are going to need to sign in. So your teachers are going to want to learn how to sign in. It's through the SLDS. My understanding is even if you're not at a school, you can create an account and sign in. But if they sign in through the SLDS, it knows what grade they're teaching and all of that. So if you're signed in as a teacher, you get a choice of what to do. If you go in not as a teacher, you only get to see it in student preview. So I can edit the activity. And here's where I actually created the flashcard activity. And I'll do a video on creating activities a little later, but just to show you, it's really quite easy to do. I just click in, I just fill in the fields, save the changes. It's super easy, and then I can preview it here. So let's see what it looks like from the student point of view. Basically, students earn stars, so there's a reward system to it. And whether they get an answer right or wrong, if the teacher has given the information for it to be graded, then they can get full stars. But you can have things that aren't graded and the kids still get stars that can be adjusted later. It's really good about telling you that. So in browse mode, I can just learn the vocabulary. So I can just click on a word and I see the term is savings account. I can show the sample sentence. And then when I click on it, it flips it around. And I see, for most of mine, I've included a picture because they are supposed to be, visually friendly for English learners, especially to try to get a sense of the meaning. But you also have the little speech, text-to-speech here, so that teachers that have students that need the additional support of having this read to them, it does that. And then you can have a term quiz. And again, they get points. Oh, we need to work on that. That's kind of in the way. Probably because I put the picture in. All right, I'll have to take a look at that. Clearly, that's a little bit of a problem. And then they fill in the blank. I can't even see the definition. Oh, well, savings account. Anyway, and then you can do a definition quiz where they give you the word and you have to type in the definition. And let's go back real quick and take a look at another one. So flashcards are just one of the things you can do. You can do some great open-ended stuff or some more inquiry-based stuff. So this one is cattle trails. We'll do the student preview. And you see you can break it into multiple exercises. So this one is a 2-part exercise. I got the introduction. And again, they can have the passages read to them, or you can turn that off if that's more support than you want to give the kids. And they can read this. And then it has little fill in the blanks that kind of make them go back and make sure they've actually read it. You can set how difficult that is or not have it at all. And then this is just a straight up multiple choice. And again, if you do a multiple choice and you put in the correct answer, it will grade it for them and the teacher can see how everybody did on that. See, I think the next part of the exercise is a little more open-ended.
Did you emphasize the text-to-speech too?
I'm sorry?
Did you talk about the text-to-speech?
Yeah, I just did. Right. And so here, this is a little more open-ended. This is more of a scaffolded response instead of a multiple choice, or actually I think this one is a constructed response. So it's a lot like the tests that, well, I guess we used MAP and DeKalb. It does these same things. So they can say, you know, who is in the picture, what's happening. And again, all of it'll read the question to them. I'm just going to skip by all that. Who is in the picture? And then here they literally just type their response. We'll just type some gibberish and they hit check response and it tells them you're going to get 12 stars, but your teacher may change this after she reads your response. And then they go ahead and submit it. And it gives a model response. And again, you don't need to show the model response if you don't want to. So it's pretty flexible. I can't think of any. Oh, let me show you a mapping one real quick. I'm sorry, that's a 2nd grade river mapping. Nope. Rivers is 1st grade?
Yeah, I think it's 3rd grade. The rivers and mountains.
3rd grade. I've made so many of these, I don't know what grade they're in anymore. Yeah, major river mapping. So this one shows a different kind of, let's do a student preview. Again, this is multiple exercises. Here it just walks them through following the rivers. Oh, and it tells you read that way too fast. Are you sure you're done? I'm going to say, yeah, I'm done. We'll skip that. And then it asks some questions. Yeah. It asks which one it empties into, so they have to go back and refer to the map to answer that. And then we go all the way through. And then it says, can you do it without looking at the map above? And they literally just like click on the star next to this river. And it's E here, so this is the river. It says, what river is this? And they have to know that it's the Ohio River. So pretty cool, huh? And teachers can create their own and then share it. So like if I go under my curriculum, let me go to 5th grade. If I go to my resource here, I can create my own velocity activity and then I can share it with somebody else. So let's say I'm the person on my team that has to create a social studies activity. I create the social studies activity and I want to share it with all the other teachers. I can literally just go here and I can choose share this activity and I give them this code. I say, copy the activity, I send it to them, and then they can literally just go in here and import this by putting in the code. And then they have it in their curriculum. And so everybody can give it to their students and they can put this through Google Classroom. So
just to address, sorry, Nancy, Connie in the chat, you don't have to go through SLDS to access it. You can just go to inspire.gadoe.org.
Well, you have to have an account to create your own, though.
Right.
But my understanding is you can, I'd have to sign out. Let me see if I can sign out. My understanding is you can create, oops. Yeah, so you can register. And so even if you're not in the school system, you can still create an account and do this. But you don't want to do it that way if you're in the school system, because you want to be able to tie it to your courses and stuff.
Just like Community, I think they will, if you're using your RISA email, you'll be fine.
So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I'm showing everybody my calendar. Now where's that presentation?
We have asked for them to, in Inspire, there's in the grade level, there's a section for the curriculum map, and then a section for teacher resources. And then there's a section, well, it's just those two sections. We've asked that they add a third section for chat that kind of connects to GADOE community so that teachers can, in the Inspire platform, share lessons using the code that Nancy was referring to. So if Nancy created a velocity activity or a lesson, it's associated with a code if you hit share. And if I sent that to Jennifer or Nancy or Ashley or whoever, they could add that lesson or that velocity activity into their resources and then modify it how they want. So it's a good way for us to kind of build on each other and collaborate with each other.
And anything like if you guys do something that we actually want to put out to everybody, we all can do that. So you can share that to us. And then once we, look at it, we can share that. We can add that actually to what you just looked at under all of the specific units, the curriculum map.
We want to point out a few things that are going to be different in the standards. These are not changes to the standards. They are corrections to the standards to help maintain the accuracy of our GSE standards. We've sent these out before, but we just want to make sure that you're aware of them because they will go into effect this school year. They've already been changed in the standards. You see number 1, that involves 2nd grade and 8th grade. We're making sure that the creek are referred to now as the Muskogee Creek because that is the historically accurate term to use. Same thing with the 8th grade. Sometimes it's called the 1906 Atlanta Riot or the Atlanta Race Riot. That is now being referred to as the 1906 Atlanta Race Massacre because, again, that is historically accurate. And then down at the bottom, the most recent change is to 8th grade to that social studies standard, just adding courage to those 4 principles of the pledge.
And this will also impact assessment as well, correct, Joy?
Well, impact, I would say it'll be reflected in assessment items this coming school year. Oh, this is me. Sorry, I didn't recognize the picture. You changed it up on me. Okay, so logistics for this year. I'm going to start with the second bullet, contracts. They're still in process, as we all know. Hopefully, we all know. It's been board approved, so I'm not concerned. But the contracts program closes in July, and so we kind of got stuck. But it's in there. It's working its way through, and you should be your executive director. Or whoever signs contracts for the RISA should get those soon. And we'll keep you posted as soon as they come out. Remember, those are for both science and social studies. So it's only 1 contract this year, not 2. Yay. Which also means invoicing is you can invoice one invoice for science and social studies if you want. You could still do 2, especially since most RISAs are using 2 different people for that program. But it is just 1 contract. So that is on the way. So we will start closer to the start of the school year, I'm hoping. And as we're talking about the start of the school year, you want to make sure that you get with your districts and make sure that they know who they're going to send as the representative for their district to be their district champion. If they had somebody already this year, is it going to be the same person next year? Do they want to switch it up and do somebody different, or did that person leave? And then we know we had some districts that chose not to participate. We would really like every district to participate. We have every single RISA this year participating, and we are really excited about that. Let me talk about the district champion for just a minute. Some districts who said they weren't going to participate is because they have a social studies coordinator. That's fine. A coordinator can be the district level champion. That's a district level decision. If they feel like this is adding to the duties in such a way that they're not being compensated for it. if they still don't want the district coordinator to be that person, they can pick a teacher to help them do this work. You know, it's money for a teacher leader, right? So if there are questions about that, I know there are a lot of unique situations, just let me know, and I'll be happy to answer any of those. Additionally, I know that for all of you, this is work that is not part of your regularly scheduled programming. So if you need to, and that information has been kind of an email and in the scope of work for the contract, but if you need a specific email about how the stipend for, or the, I don't want to say stipend because we specifically didn't use the word stipend. We are just providing funds for the RESA leader. So if you need an email about this work as it relates to the funds for the RESA, let me know and we can work that out. GCSS, we want to go over a couple of changes in the contract this year. Last year we put funding in there to send 2 people that are participating in the Cheerleaders and Champions program to the GCSS conference for every RESA. And this year we have increased that number to 4. So there should be funding in there to send 4 people. You could send your RESA leader and then 3 district champions or 4 district champions. That's your choice. But you are responsible for choosing the people that are representing your RESA. We've also kind of standardized the amount of money for every RESA. So everybody kind of gets the same money for registration and travel. And remember that it's not submitting receipts and, you know, DOE paying exact amounts. We have allotted X amount of money to send 4 people. And if you can send more than 4 people with that amount of money, great. And if you don't need that much, that, you know, you don't invoice for that much, but that it's the same amount for everybody. In the event that you don't have a full collection of district champions, if you have a district opt out, you are welcome to use that funding to send additional people to the GCSS conference. By additional people, I mean additional district champions or RESA person to that conference. And we did get approval from legal last year for that.
Joy, Mandy has a question.
Okay, so I am following along with you now on changes to the contract. When you said that social studies and science would be together at my RESA, 2 of us, like I do the social studies and someone else does the science.
Right.
Is that still in the contract or is it?
Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. You still have, it is just on one contract. That's just the change instead of 2. So there's still funding for 1 RESA leader for social studies and 1 RESA leader for science. And I know in a couple of instances, that's the same person, but that means that that person should get the funding for social studies and for science.
Thank you.
Yeah. So make sure that you get with your districts and update who their social studies champion's going to be. And if you need me to help convince a district to join in, I am happy to do that. If they're absolutely say, no, thank you, we are not interested, that's fine too. I mean, this is an at-will program. Make sure that's in writing in an email somewhere, and then feel free to use the funding to send an extra person to GCSS. Or you can allot another another district champion to a different district. So if District C does not want to participate in the program, you can either use that $1,500 funding to send another person to GCSS, or give District A or B an extra liaison if you feel like they need it. But that's within your purview to do. In 2023, 2024, we're going to be sending you more resources to share and for your district champions to explore. But we also want to hear from you as to what you feel like you would like us to provide. Every RESA's focus will be a little different. That's part of the reason why we have the needs assessment survey, so that we can make sure that the program is doing what your RESA needs it to do. So if we previously used a form where we asked that you would set kind of the goal for the RESA, here's what our needs assessment survey or what the statewide survey said that is needed. So here's our focus. So what is going to be your goal for this month as it relates to that needs assessment survey? You're still welcome to do that. You're welcome to create your own form. If you'd like us to create a form for you to copy and use with your district champions, we can. We're here to support you. And if your district level champions say, you know what, we really need to focus on this, but we don't know where to start, then that's an opportunity for you to reach out to us and ask for those resources, and then we'll tailor that to your request, if that makes sense. And hopefully it didn't sound like I was rambling. We're here to support you. That is the summary of that slide. I think I actually accidentally on purpose answered those questions already.
Ben also had a
Liaisons.
question. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Liaisons
Ben,
will still receive $1,500 stipends for the year, and leaders will not stipend. Delete that word, whoever has the PowerPoint. We have included funding for $1,500 for each district champion and $1,500 for the RESA leader. And remember, those districts that have more than or right at 20,000 students, I think that's right, receive an additional allotment, additional liaison. Too. Okay, now I'm done. Sorry.
Ben had a question in the chat. He was asking about the amount for that you said was allotted for GCSS.
Yes, I said it is the same amount. I don't think I said what it is because I don't know. I'm not looking at it. And Keith has that spreadsheet. So I will find that information and share it with you.
So I think, is it open now to any other questions that people have? Okay. So we're going to open, I guess we can do both. Nancy, if you want to go to the next slide, they're kind of very similar. So we, just as kind of our debrief here, we've thrown a lot at you and we wanted to see where you are at this point with your excitement. What are you excited about this year? What are you maybe worried about, or what are your needs, and any suggestions or steps? I just put a link in the chat that we'd like you to complete before you leave us today. And if you click on that Padlet, Nancy, I might just try to share my screen, or you can share yours if you want to click on the Padlet and share, whichever. I have those 4 different compass points in there. This is completely anonymous, so unless you write your name in the box. So if you could give us a little feedback on what you're excited about this year, you just click on the little plus sign, and underneath each column, so under the excitement column, you would just click on that and type in into the text box. Is there anything you're worried about in the worried column, or you're uncertain about, need some more clarification about? Maybe that's a need. What do you still need in the third column or need to know? And then the last one, do you have any suggestions for us or next steps that maybe you're personally thinking about for your RESA? Okay, so just a moment to digest, reflect, and give us a little feedback so we know what direction to head next.
It's not anonymous for me.
Ooh, you must be logged in, Nancy.
No, I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, yeah, true. Very true. Well, stop sharing your screen. But yeah, we'll take a look at this. Feel free to fill this out now. I think that's the better choice because, you know, once you leave, the chances of coming back are small when all the other things on your list start catching up. But if you absolutely have to jump off, please do come back in and fill this out and let us know where to go from there. And so you can fill that out. If you also have any other like burning questions, we're here to try to answer the best we can. I think we've officially stopped the recording.
I will stop it. And Laura, I think it's Laura, Mallory, and Robin that are just coming on board. We're going to meet with all of you that are new as well. So don't be intimidated by today. We'll get you all caught up and on the same page.
I was a science liaison last year, so this is just adding a layer.